This is Alby DRozario-Gray. We're flatmates and we've lived together for the last year and a half. And over that time, I've found him to be a pretty fascinating character to be around. He lives at his own pace, slowly, often accompanied by a soundtrack, which he plays out of his Bluetooth speaker wherever he goes. But I would say primarily he's a collector of everything and anything. He has a huge amount of secondhand clothing and he's incredibly considerate when rotating between outfits. He owns many versions of the same thing. He seems to like the novelty of odd objects, and since we've moved into a new flat together, his collection has slowly been integrating itself into our new living space. Some of these items include a number of interesting posters, an incense holder the shape of his finger, 4 ashtrays, a wine rack, a cigarette dispenser, a variety of interesting mugs, as well as many other items that have been dotted around our flat. I've always felt that these objects are a big part of Alby's character. It's an ever-evolving piece of work, and our flat is like the exhibition space. Whilst we were filming this video, we were lucky enough to receive another one of his parcels. He had announced the arrival of a full-size table football, which we ceremoniously opened together as a flat, but had kept the new addition of a miniature pool table quiet to surprise us. The table didn't come with any legs, but he had planned ahead for this, recycling an old plastic table he had found outside the art school, which, after some DIY, became its new supports. Alby is very good at utilizing what's around him. He doesn't like throwing things out. This resourceful thinking is particularly evident within his work. He studies fine art photography. We're actually in the same class together. And since we've been here, he's only ever taken pictures on his smartphone. It's a pretty fascinating statement to use a smartphone on a prestigious art degree, but it seems to work for him.
I don't know if I can let you include that, because that's like my whole fuck.
Alby is very invested in creating and maintaining this lifestyle. He's somewhat of a main character. He lives at a pace unlike any other 20-year-old I've met. I think there is something very admirable about having this ability to just be. It's, in a way, the ultimate form of living in the moment. I find it easiest to understand how he's feeling based on his chosen soundtrack and his placement within our house. His library of music is incredibly vast. It's clearly a very therapeutic tool for him. I thought it might be interesting to give him some control over his soundtrack, so I wanted to show him Ableton, a music program that's an amazing tool for creating and experimenting with sound. We set up an operator synth which could be controlled by a MIDI keyboard in his bedroom, and we filmed a short video of him playing it for the first time. He learned how to play piano when he was younger, so it came pretty naturally to him. He seemed to share a similar love to Ableton that I had when I first discovered it. Afterwards, he had told me about this idea he had to play his wine rack as an instrument and film it. I thought it was a pretty great idea, and I had encouraged him to pursue it. I had told him at 12 the next day I could help him create this piece of work. So the next day I had checked on him at 12 and he wasn't quite ready. So I waited a bit, at which point he decided that he needed to take a 45-minute shower. I felt pretty frustrated at that moment, but I realized that this is Alby's process, and if I wanted to help him make this video, I would have to adjust to his schedule. Later, I had come home and he had started picking out an outfit for the video. He seemed pretty confident that we could get it finished before the light went, so we went ahead and set up a mic and a MIDI keyboard so he could apply effects to the sounds he was recording. He wanted to use a new rug we had got for our living room as a stage. He'd placed a number of rings on each finger and gathered metal objects to hit the wine rack with. What came after this was a beautiful and fascinating thing to witness. After the space had been properly prepared, he had got on his back and started his performance. After a while, our flatmate, Ella, had come to see what the noise was about. She was halfway through making a bedbug outfit for Halloween. The whole thing felt pretty surreal at that moment. I decided to leave. After a while, I had gone to check on him, and to my surprise, he was still at it.